How is this obese pig still not sent back to the farmhouse is beyond me. Hi everybody, welcome to the video. My name is Abby. This is a purely entertainment based video where I talk about a character that genuinely pisses me off and deserves to be nerfed because this is absolutely ridiculous. It's Roadhog. I think just now, as I said the word Roadhog, you probably had PTSD from last night's ranked games or quick play games or even the arcade games where this fat fuck is everywhere, and it is genuinely, seriously tiring. How does the balance team sit there and not realize that this character, whatever this character is viable, ruins the game for legitimately everybody involved, people playing with him, people playing against him, and the only person that gets to have fun is the Roadhog player until he gets into a mirror matchup, and then for some reason both Roadhogs at point blank range find a way to miss those hooks. Seriously, you guys are the size of the sun. You can cause an entire eclipse with your ass cheeks. How are you missing the hog hooks in front of one another? Anyways, okay, I'm calming down. Let's talk about it. Roadhog has been seriously out of control, and he has been a very oppressive tank right behind Orisa. It's just Orisa took the spotlight off of him and Mauga. Mauga is also a tank that's a little bit strong, but to be honest with you guys, at the current patch, Mauga does feel like a little bit like more you can deal with him, but Roadhog is by far the best tank in the game, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. The thing about Roadhog is that he's not a tank. He's he just does not fall into the fundamental gameplay style of what a tank is meant to be. He does not do anything that a tank is supposed to do. His entire gameplay is, I exist, you cannot kill me, I will kill you should you dare and try to take the space that I'm taking, or be in line of sight where I will hook you and cook you and send you straight into the trash bin because, you know, you just don't deserve to play the game. It is really appalling that the hypocrisy of Blizzard is at the highest when they say things like, well, we don't want one-shots to be that good, and then Hanzo completely loses his identity, Junkrat loses his combos, Genji loses his combos, a bunch of other characters have their breakpoints completely neutered, and they're in such horrible spots. We have videos coming up very soon. We have videos coming up on all of them very soon. But a character like Roadhog, that's where they draw the line. Like, no, you don't understand. Roadhog gets to keep his one-shot, guys. You know, guys, the tank that can barely die, that takes barely any damage the moment he presses E. No, it is pretty fair, guys. Thumbs up. Like, we did a great job with allowing a tank to maintain their ability to one-shot things. So, let's talk about Roadhog. Let's talk about, like, you know, despite my rage towards this character, and well, to be honest, if you guys have watched the videos for a while, you can see that I play him a lot, because I ain't gonna lie, one-shotting people is fun. Okay, getting one-shot ain't fun, but one-shotting people is fun. Is it fair? Is it rewarding? Well, is it fair? No. Is it rewarding? You bet your ass it is, because it's stupid and it's broken and it's not a tank at that point. I'm not doing anything a tank is supposed to do. I just exist as a fat DPS because I just want to make other people feel miserable, because, you know, because if I play any other tank, I'll feel miserable, since Blizzard decided that this is the best tank in the game, and almost everybody is playing Roadhog every single game, and it's not like any of his counters are viable. And even if you do pick Ana, well, Kiriko is in 90% of the games, and she just renders Ana useless. Ana has seriously just been lost with the sands of time. Good job, Blizzard. Thumbs up. High skill, high reward hero is now high skill, low reward hero. Again, my rage aside, how am I going to approach Roadhog? Because Roadhog is a very big can of worms when we look at it. So Roadhog is a character that, fundamentally speaking, we should completely rework. I think this trying to make this weird identity work, that, well, we can have a fair way to allow him to keep the one-shot combo and everything, is just not working. Because even with the 250 HP pools and everything, Roadhog, even without the trap that he got, the pig pen, he's still able to one-shot people, and that is genuinely really frustrating, because the idea was that, well, the pig pen was the excuse for you to do your combos, and surprisingly, a lot of Roadhogs, you know, they're not actually very good at lining up that combo, because if you just play away from where the pig pen is or reposition yourself, he won't be able to one-shot you. But because of the way the projectile and, you know, the pellet sizes have changed, the hitboxes have changed, it's allowed Roadhog to become a lot more consistent, to the point where, trust me when I say this, he is doing a good job of one-shotting you even without the melee. Seriously, this guy is actually a very good tank right now, and he got another mega buff in the current patch. So if you guys don't understand why Roadhog is strong, I'll get to the nerfs in just a moment. So first of all, we'll talk about Whole Hog as his ultimate, right? The main thing about Whole Hog is Whole Hog does a lot of burst damage close range, but the thing is its trade-off is that it's meant to, it should quickly boop people away, but if they somehow stay in your line of sight, in the space that you're controlling with it, they will take a lot of damage, and you can easily and instantaneously delete a tank. So this is very good against a tank like Ursa, because if you can bait out her golden or fortify, you can immediately use your Q and just shred her, because she's not going to get CC, so she's going to take all that damage straight to her face, right? So the problem with Roadhog right now is because all the tanks have gotten this new passive where they're going to be taking less CC, more often than not, when he uses the whole hog, it is a great tool to delete another tank. For example, you start using whole hog, you start booping away the other tank, and then you just hook him, pull him back in, and then just delete him with whole hog, even just thrust all that hog deep into the other tank once more, and then delete him and get him out of the way and move on with your life, and then, one shot everybody else and secure the objective or just win the game beyond that point. So, whole hog has gotten a big buff this patch, okay? And it did benefit a lot from the projectile size and the hitbox changes as well. So that is like something that we should definitely think about as well. That it is a big benefit to Roadhog. Number two, Roadhog is 100% benefited from the changes of how the 25%, I believe, headshot damage reduction that the tanks got has gotten. Seriously, on some characters, especially some of the characters that do like, Pele damage or damage over time, the second Roadhog presses E, because he also gets a damage reduction from the E that he presses. I forgot the exact amount. I do believe it is 20%. It can be, it's really frustrating because no matter how much damage you throw at him, it genuinely feels like he is unable to take any damage. Seriously, watch this clip over here. I'm playing on Sarasa, and there's all this damage coming my way, and I just press E and I'm able to survive through that. There is no other tank that if I play in this scenario right now that I'd genuinely be able to survive. And one of the biggest problems for this is the reason why this is such a strong ability now is because Blizzard changed it into a resource meter. So if you're smart and you know how to use it and you know how to time it, you can be very survivable with this guy. And seriously, the thing I hate about Roadhog as well is pretty much like compared to all the other tanks, none of the tanks have a good matchup against him except maybe Mauga and Orisa. However, Orisa's not that bad. Again, like she's a little bit back, but like she does struggle because once her cooldowns are burnt out, Hog does win that matchup really well. And Mauga versus Hog is a little bit dependent on the situation, but Mauga should have it a little bit in his favor. But if the Hog can survive the initial time where Mauga is burning his cardiac overdrive, Hog will be able to immediately delete him beyond that point because Mauga's hitbox is so huge that he's taking every pellet, every shotgun scrap straight to his face from Roadhog. So it is rough. It is rough. There's very few things that other tanks and DPS and even supports can do about it. Because like I said earlier, even if Ana tries to anti him, well, then Kiriko's in the lobby, And again, it's ridiculous because even DPS, there's not enough damage in the DPS role to even deal with him to begin with. His best counters, characters like Reaper and Hanzo, well, Hanzo can still do some damage, but if he's using his vape, it's pretty much GG's for you. And Reaper, Reaper's a joke. Reaper's a joke. If you pick Reaper into a Hog, you are genuinely throwing nowadays, and it's sad that it's kind of come down to that point now. Your best bet is probably maybe going Sombra and farming him for EMP and praying to God everybody does something, but this guy is hilariously tanky. Now, another thing that has come to my attention is people are sharing throughout the forums, throughout the Reddits and everything, is Hog has a bug with his damage that it is not registering properly. It is not registering properly against armor. So he's actually doing a little bit more damage against other tanks than he should because of a bug. Now, in my personal opinion, even if that gets changed, I don't think it's going to do that much for him. So now, again, circling back, well, what can we do to stop Roadhog? Because he is getting a little bit too silly now. Well, there's always the option of power creeping the rest of the game, which is exactly what Blizzard's gonna do. Given their track record lately. But the sensible way to doing this is understanding where the strength is, toning it down just a little bit, and applying power into the rest of the kit, so he's rewarded for the things that he's supposed to do. Now, definitely the frustrating point is his shotgun. The shotgun is where the punch is. So instead of that, there's ways to distribute that damage to his pigpen a little bit. Then there's ways to distribute that damage a little bit more into his hook. And then they can reduce the damage on the shotgun just a little bit, so that if he does land a full combo, and this combo involves the pigpen triggering, the hook hitting, and then pulling in a target, only then should he be allowed to somehow one-shot a character. Okay, if we don't want to go down the damage reduction route and we want to maintain power in his ability to be tanky, then we have to approach this from a different way, right? Because this is how Blizzard does things. They transfer power from one part of the kit to the other. So if we want to maintain the damaging aspect of his kit, that, oh, well, the threat of the guy is that, you know, he can do so much damage, well, then he needs to be like a quote-unquote glass cannon tank type of playstyle. Yes, he should have the healing that should be able to, you know, help him get around corners or to his supports. However, it shouldn't be so good to the point that where he's just almost near unkillable. Seriously, he is near unkillable. So one of the best solutions to this isn't increasing the cooldown and making him feel clunky to play. It is generally just reducing the damage reduction that he does get out of it, because that is the biggest thing that plays into what makes him strong. Also, alternatively, I do think his ultimate is way too strong against deleting other tanks, and perhaps just to make the tank role feel better overall on the receiving end of a whole hog, we can slightly, you know, nerf whole hog from the POV that they increase the amount of CC it does, so that that feels back to normal, and whole hog isn't a tool where you just hook another tank in, just, you know, press Q and immediately shred their life. So I think some of these changes would be one of the best ways to approach Roadhog, and from there we kind of see what's going on. But if I'm being honest with you guys, most likely Blizzard is just going to power creep the rest of the game until the other tanks do catch up to Roadhog, which is always not going to be the way. And I'm kind of scared because right next to Roadhog is Mauga, and Mauga is really not that bad. Okay, and if Blizzard goes down the power creep route, which is what they're basically doing in these past few patches, where other than maybe projectile DPS who have been constantly nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed, seriously, I don't know what they're doing with that role, but we will talk about it in, maybe tomorrow. But I'm scared because Blizzard always finds a way to somehow mess things up. And again, in my opinion, if they think that, again, because Blizzard's not the type of company where they think, oh no, this character is bad for the game, let's gutter him completely. Most likely they will try to maintain his ability to, you know, kill things. But that's fine. If that's what we want to maintain, then make him squishier than what he is now. Because I do think it's ridiculous that no other tank can put up a fight against him. Because again, if you're smart when you're playing Roadhog, every other tank can just be a very, very easy kill. And that's not even mentioning like your matchups against squishies. Like you just catch a squishy and it's basically GG. That is just my opinion for Roadhog. Again, I think maybe nerfing the vape to start and nerfing his ultimate would be the right way to go, because again, his one-shot combo is where the power is right now primarily, and that's his neutral gameplay. Well, Blizzard's philosophy in the past few years have been is that if the neutral gameplay is strong, then the ultimate should be a little bit weaker. So let's weaken up his ultimate, and then let's also weaken up his survivability. Look guys, at the end of the day, it's Roadhog. He's a really tough character. He doesn't play like any of the tanks. This is one of those guys where, you know what, like if somebody of high skill that has great positioning, great awareness, and is able to make him work, that's the only time he should work. He shouldn't be like such a generic character that any, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry can pick him up and start dominating lobbies. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, everybody, what are your thoughts on how you would nerf Roadhog? Again, like my final thoughts on it is, again, I would nerf the healing that he gets, the damage reduction that he gets, because seriously, this guy is way too tanky, and healing is still really strong despite us being on the DPS passive 20% patch, which is, again, shows you the power creep of the game. Anyways, how would you nerf Roadhog? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you've reached this far, guys, please subscribe to the channel and support me in any way that you can. Subscribing, liking videos, and commenting are free ways to do that. If you want to support me financially, then please do use the super chat down below and send me over a little bit of money. I do appreciate it. With that being said, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.